Hey there, Gundam fans. Phoenix Destiny Kai bringing you yet another Mobile Suit Corner segment. And here's always Ace Vengeance doing
What's up,
co-commentary.
everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back.
And as far as the subject of today's Mobile Suit Corner, it's actually two prototypes that was becoming quite famous thanks to the Battle of Odessa from the original Gundam anime. Anyways,
Yep.
let's keep the introduction short and let's get this party started. So, sometime after White Base was pretty much getting hammered at Zeon at every turn, eventually they did manage to make it. They did manage to make it back on Earth, and they finally was starting to take the fight back to Zeon after some time. And then the Federation forces decided, enough backtracking, let's actually take the fight to Zeon for real this time. And their first major target was the Minan operation in Odessa, hence the name Operation Odessa. And two units that actually became famous at that time, notably because of a group of Zeon aces, is the first one that I'm using right now, as you see before you, the Gouf.
Ah, yes, the mighty Gouf, used by Rambo Rao. One of my favorite Gundam characters, mind you. And also one that keeps showing back up in different franchises of Gundam for some reason.
And in the words of the man himself, despite how it looks, this is no Zaku, my friend.
Sorry.
That's not the actual quote from the anime, by the way, for those eagle eyes. It's just I decided to use the one from Dynasty Warriors because it
No
felt
Zaku,
more
boy!
sense.
No Zaku!
That being said, excuse me, go ahead and talk to the audience a little bit.
Then I guess I'll cover for him while he's gone. I don't know why he had to go away. Anyway, as stated before, the Gouf was primarily used, well, more famously used by Rambo Rao. Very prominent, well, over-prominent fucking I am very tired today. I am sorry, audience. And also, I'm not really good at commenting by myself. I should wait for it to come back, in all honesty.
And we're back. Sorry about that brief delay.
I fucked up my words. I just waited for you to come back. I'm not good at commenting by myself. Never have been.
No, it's okay. At any rate, so as far as the Gouf, for all intents and purposes, while it does have one form of ranged weaponry, being its finger Vulcans, as you see here,
which everyone hated to the point to where it was eventually phased out in later variants.
It was not meant to be a ranged suit. For all intents and purposes, this was Zeon's very first dedicated close combat suit. And it's actually reflected in two of its notable weapons. The Heat Rod, which essentially works kind of like an EMP weapon of sorts, at least the Gouf Customs did in 8th MS Team. The Heat Rod in the original Gundam anime was simply meant to be a high voltage weapon that, let's be honest, you do not want to be on the receiving end of that thing because it hurts, as Kai found out the hard way.
Oh, very much so. The heat rod heats up enough to explode ammunition when in contact with weaponry, as shown when it destroyed the Gundam's bazooka.
And as far as its main weapon of choice, it's known as a Heat Saber, which I'm going to, normally I don't segue into game mechanics in a moment, but I have to because this was a bit of an odd choice to me. In Gundam Breaker 3, this was a normal saber weapon, but for some reason in this game, it's actually got the katana moveset despite not even being a katana.
Wait a second. I don't use the Gouf parts in that game. You telling me the fucking Gouf Saber's a katana?
In this game, yes. Not sure why Bandai did that.
Yeah, why isn't it just labeled as... Well, I guess it only has one blade, so that's probably why.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, when I think about katana weapons, I think about weapons like the Ifrit Nox Cold Sabers, which I will showcase at some point in Battle Operation, or even more famously, the Gerbera Strait and the Tiger Pierce from the Red Astray Gundam.
Short fun fact, by the way, I own the high grade of the Gouf. I'm looking at it right now. Same with its upgraded variant.
But as far as the Gouf goes, as a mobile suit, it did one thing, and it did that thing pretty well. And I will say, as far as the aces go, this was famously piloted by Ramba Ral, otherwise known as the Blue Nova. But he wasn't the only ace that used this. There actually was a team that actually was active in Operation Odessa at the time, and they were famous for basically using tactics that involved no more and no less, unless a situation called for it, than 4 mobile suits per team. And for those Gundam fans out there, you might actually recognize the name. A name that goes by Midnight Fenrir.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I love Zeonic Front, although I suck at it.
The thing is, Midnight Fenrir, as I said, they were notable for using tactics-based operations because they're, well, for lack of a better term, they didn't have that many supplies and they had to make do with what they had. And let's be real, the leader of the group, Garrett Schmitzer, he was an avid practitioner of Sun Tzu's Art of War. So he just believed in making use of everything that he had. And as far as one of the suits in his employ, it was a Gouf, but it was actually fitted with additional sensors to make it a recon type. And weirdly enough, this is also the only normal Gouf that used the Zaku machine gun, so that's a little bit of an interesting fact.
I just realized something, how fitting this video's topic is, considering the fact we just brought up Zeonic Front, and the mission in Zeonic Front I'm stuck on is the Odessa mission. How fitting.
At any rate, as far as the Gouf's performance in the Breaker series, well, as you can see here, like I said, it only has like 3 weapons. Its main primary, the Heat Rod, and the Finger Vulcans. Not very much, but hey, if you want a close combat mobile suit, look no further than the Gouf. And I will say, I actually like its distinctive blue coloring, although I prefer the Gouf Customs coloring just a little bit more.
Yeah, the anime didn't do its coloration very well. While I do like the shade of blue for an actual combat suit, that stands out a little too much.
And one thing to keep in mind about the Gouf, this thing, well, memes aside, it really was no Zaku. Like, the thing is, for all intents and purposes, this thing was meant to be a little bit more heavily armored than the Zaku, so it could take punishment a bit more, you could say a bit more kind of like a wall.
It was also way better at its job than the Zaku was, considering the fact that the Zaku was originally just modified for ground use combat, while the Gouf was specifically designed for it.
At any rate, not much else I can say about the Gouf. It's a close combat machine, it does its job well, and it had one notable ace. That being said,
I can't wait till we get to its variant in another video. I love its pilot.
That being said, I want to go to the garage for a moment to pull out the other suit of topic of this video.
I'm trying to think of a fun fact I can mention before you change suits, but I can't really think of anything. There's more fun facts about the Gouf Custom than there are the Gouf.
Well, I guess there is one, but really this is just for Super Robot Wars fans out there. For some reason, any game that Ramba Ral is in, he has never given the Gouf in a Super Robot Wars game. He's given the Gouf Custom.
Wait, really?
Yep. Most notably in Super Robot Wars Advanced Portable. That game did not have the Gouf, it just had the Gouf Custom.
Is Norris not in the game?
Oh no, he's in the game. And
So
let that sink in. Both Ramba Ral and Norse Picard, within the context of Super Robot Wars, their intended suits are the Gouf Custom. Not sure why Bon Presto made that choice.
That's very, very odd.
I mean, heck, for the suit that I'm about to pull off, or rather pull out, it's even more interesting because the Black Tri-Stars in Super Robot Wars Advanced Portable, they don't just use the Dom. They also use the Dom 2 as the game goes along, and even the Dryson eventually.
Okay, you know what? I'm not. It's weird continuity stuff. Also, random fun fact. I'm not far enough in to know if eventually they get regular Goufs, But in Xeon in front, the team that usually gets the Gouf starts out with a prototype variant rather than the actual Gouf. There's a
All right, and we are back from the garage, which I now have the other mobile suit of discussion for today, the Dom. And this machine was a pretty cool machine, and it even still is to me during the 1 Year War for one respect. Aside from certain Zaku variants, this mobile suit, for all intents and purposes, could be considered the very first high-speed mobile suit, considering it doesn't run, it hovers.
Yep, it's also the first major variant suit not made by Zeonic.
And the thing of it is like, as far as its hovering, that meant that unlike the Zaku, which had to trudge through a lot of certain types of terrain, this thing could just effectively function as like a water slider.
Yep, making it one of the fastest suits Zeon's ever produced. Eventually becoming a stopgap mass production suit up until the Goku was introduced.
And it was no less a bad suit too. Like much like the Gouf, however, it didn't have that many weapons, at least intended weapons. Like its standard weapons you see here is the giant bazooka, which yet another bazooka.
Its standard weapons were definitely not that impressive. Well, besides the giant bazooka being actually pretty decent of a bazooka. But other than that, it had a scattered beam gun for blinding its enemies, and a heat saber.
And the thing,
just a stick.
And the thing of it is, in many forms of media, the chest diffused beam cannon, as it's called in this game, it's not that useful of a weapon. Heck, in Federation vs. Xeon for the PlayStation 2, it's near useless.
Yeah, for the games have never gotten its use right. In the anime, it showed very well. It's used to blind the opponents for the sake of approaching. The games, however, never understood how to program that properly. And yeah, in Federation, I can definitely testify for that as a guy who's played that game for a long time. That ability does nothing.
And as far as its main melee weapon, the heat saber, well, as Ace put it, it's just basically a stick. Although I will say this though, actually two further fun facts of this suit come to mind. The first one being, this thing's heat saber, the only thing I can say is, many people have always made the connection that the beam saber was basically just Gundam's take on the lightsaber from Star Wars. This weapon may actually be the closest representation to a lightsaber we will ever get, because it's even colored. It's even colored the same color as a standard Jedi Knight's lightsaber.
The heat saber is definitely closer to a lightsaber. Beam sabers are usually jagged and unstable, while the heat saber is literally just a stick like a lightsaber.
And also, much like many other suits that I will eventually talk about, this thing didn't just have an appearance in the original Gundam. This thing had another notable famous pilot, and he's one of my more favorite characters from the Build series, Sekai Kamiki. He actually was a pilot of the Dom in his initial matches before, well, he took a fatal blow and this thing exploded to reveal another mobile suit inside that I will be talking about in a future video. So that's something to look forward to.
Should we get talking to them about their main pilots that made the Dom more popular?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, because these dudes, I love these goobers. The Black Tri-Stars. 3 pilots, supposedly, I'm going to assume they came from the Texas colony just because the anime made no mistake about...
Oh, yeah, they were fucking Texan completely.
Excuse me 1 second.
Well, we sit in silence while we wait for some random fun facts. Because I don't want to skip anything with him. Sorry he gets called away a lot, guys. And sorry I don't know what to talk about. I want to talk about him because it's funner to bounce off stuff than talk on my own. So I'm just gonna ramble like a fool. Nah, I'm done.
Let's see.
And he's back, folks.
Sorry about that other delay.
That's the Black Tri-Stars.
So as far as the Black Tri-Stars, yeah, the anime made no...
You okay?
Like, disconnected. But yeah, the anime made no... They made no qualms about saying these guys are just basically rednecks.
Yeah. But they were pretty damn effective rednecks, especially even before they even got the Dom in the first place. They were the ones responsible for capturing General Rebel during the Battle of Operation British.
Yep, and they even used modified variants of high mobility Zaku, and this was all showcased in Gundam The Origin. As far as how they got their claim to fame in the main anime, however, these three operated in a team of three, and they were infamous for one attack known as the Jet Stream attack. If I remember correctly how it worked, two of them would basically have their giant bazookas at the ready, while the third one basically charged the target with his heat saber drawn, and he would immediately use the chest gun to try to blind his opponents for the attack coming.
The Jet Stream attack, essentially, the literally the most memed attack in all of Gundam, being in multiple different anime franchises for some reason.
The only difference is the only time the Jet Stream attack has ever been successful, however, is actually in Sea Destiny. With the Gouf Ignite... not Gouf Ignite, sorry, wrong suit. With the Dom Trooper.
Fun fact, the Jet Stream attack isn't some random conga line. It actually uses proper aerodynamics. The person in the front blocks airwaves, allowing the other two to pick up speed. Eventually, they would jump in front of each other to constantly speed each other up.
Which, now that I think about it, that actually makes a lot more sense given its name, or I'm pretty sure in a Japanese showing of the episode, it probably was named the Jet Stream attack.
That's all it was named.
I'm sorry, I meant to say the Slipstream attack or something. At any rate,
we're both playing dead today, people.
As far as its performance in the Breaker games, well, it only has like 2 extra weapons, which is basically the chest gun, and for some reason in this game, and this is another function I honestly wish Bandai would fix in a future Breaker game, is basically its optional weapon is, well, its Heat Saber. But I'm like, at that point, why not just make it the primary weapon so it doesn't show on the back? Like, yeah, you can equip it as a primary weapon, but...
I'm pretty sure the only part people really even use it for anyway was its legs.
Yeah.
Anyway, random fun fact before we keep going. As it's now stated in most modern media, the line when the Gundam stepped on who the fuck was the front for it? Was that Ortega? No, it wasn't Ortega. Whoever the hell was on the front at the time.
No, it was Gaia.
Gaia. Yeah, the line Gaia uses whenever he gets stepped on in most modern media now is, "Hey, did you step on me?" I am more partial to the original American line. "Hey, I ain't no damn springboard."
I prefer the other one, if only because that's the one they use in Dynasty Warriors Gundam. "Hey, did you just step on me?"
Yeah, but it plays more into the whole Texan accent thing with the original.
I like it that way. But that's the Dom though. For all intents and purposes, this thing did its job well too, and honestly, before the Goku came along, this definitely was the nastiest mobile suit that a lot of the Federation forces had to contend with. Yep, and make no mistake, the Dom was also used by Midnight Fenrir. In addition to another suit that technically is a prototype to a suit that is in this game, the Don Funf, which is a prototype of the Dom Tropin. But that's another video for later.
Here's before we I guess end at this point. Here's another fun fact. The Doms were originally supposed to go to the Black Tri-Stars. It was originally supposed to be used by our previous pilot we mentioned before, Ramba Rao. Until McCuve happened.
Yeah, it's no secret that McCuve is a massive idiot.
Yeah, not worried about Ramba Rao discovering his illegal mining activities, he decided to just not give him the DOMs and hope that he dies.
In fact, I'd have to say, of the two Gion users across the Gundam franchise, McCuve is the worst one.
Hell, it's heavily implied that if Ramba Rao actually did get the DOMs, the White Base would have been cooked.
At any rate, so that's the two prototypes of Operation Odessa. Next time we'll get into the prototypes used during Operation Star 1, the Gion, and of course the Gelgoog. Because I'll be honest, that's another personal favorite of mine. I can't wait to talk about that one.
Oh, same here. That's my favorite Zeon suit.
At any rate, this is Phoenix Destiny Kai.
And I'm Ace Vengeance.
Signing off.
Peace!